1-0. Yes,
Right, okay, good afternoon everybody, how are we all doing? It is Saturday the 21st of January 2023. It's a little different video today than my usual drone videos. Something I think I might start doing. See how it goes, we'll see how it goes. So last week I went to the Everton Southampton game. Killer, it was a killer. But anyway, my point is that before the game I sat down in the pub, the Excelsior, and had a chat about the game. If you see me looking, sorry, there's a match on the TV. It is Liverpool v Chelsea, but I might keep looking, the TV's there. I get distracted by football. But yeah, so before the game we had a chat. In the pub about what we thought of the game, what our current thoughts were on Everton in that, and it kind of got quite a good response. So I do want to start at some point, maybe transitioning or just adding a bit more to the channel. So I'm going to do a little bit of my thoughts and my pre-game thoughts. If you hear some messing about, my little dog's in the room. She's just mucking about over there. So yeah, I'm just going to give a bit of pre-match thoughts. You know, Mr. Drone's thoughts on Everton. I'm an Evertonian. Don't hide that from anybody, of course, because I say hide that because I do other clubs in that with my drone. But yeah, I'm a big Evertonian. So I want to do like my thoughts, my pre-match thoughts of the match today. Everton are playing West Ham away today. Really tough game. So yeah, I just wanted to concentrate on that and see what you all think. Something I want to start moving into. You guys let me know what you think though as well. At some point maybe get some fans on to have a chat about the current situation at Everton, about the weekend's games and stuff like that. But we'll see how it goes. But for now, I just want to talk about the West Ham game. What I want to start with is Frank Lampard's press conference. He does them every week. It's really good to get them out there every week and get them out on YouTube and that. If anybody watches them, they go live. I think it's on the Friday. And it always takes them about 20 minutes to come and sit down. They start them so early. So yeah, if you go onto it, just skip forward a good five minutes or so, because it's just an empty seat for a while. I think Everton need to work on that. That's one point. But yeah, I wanted to just start with that part about Lampard's press conference before we get into the game. One thing I'd say is that I feel like he's kind of saying the same things every week almost about the current situation and that, but it's because he's being asked the same questions every week. So the journalists doing it really need to do some work and work on, figure out what you're going to ask instead of the same things week in, week out, because it's so repetitive for the first part of, and for example, I've made some notes obviously, but is it a tough week? Has it been a tough week, Frank? That's every week they're asking it, and he has to answer the same thing, so he's repeating himself. But he's repeating himself by being realistic and all that about it. They're asking him, have you spoken to the owners? What did they say? He just always says, well, yeah, I have, but it's private. And how are the players reacting as well? Another question that's being asked loads. And like I say, it's tough for him at the moment. It's a tough job, definitely, at the moment. And his job is to work on the football, as he tells them week in, week out as well. But it's so tough to listen to the first, like say, the press conference is only about 20 minutes long. The first 10 minutes or even more are just the same things every week. Reporters get some new questions, ask him about the actual team, ask him about is he looking at any formation changes, things like that, something like that, something that we can listen to and talk about, instead of just, is it tough this week, Frank? It's another tough week. What have the directors said? What have the board said? What have these said? What have the owners said? And he's still never going to tell you as well. He just says it's private, so stop asking. One reporter did say today, is it better being away from home today because of what happened at home last week? Less pressure, etc. Frank Lampard, he replied saying, well, I've course not, because it's always tough to go away from home. Every Premier League game away from home is tough. What I want to touch on again, they've picked out these really bad scenes at Everton last week. You know, there were fans approaching players after the game and that, and there were sitting protests and that, and they've really concentrated on that. What they haven't showed much is the support before, the fans turning up. When I was in the game and watching it, talking to other fans, there were fans with like covered in the blue off the smoke bombs or whatever, and there was all that, and there were loads of support, and there's loads of support whilst the game's going on as well. But they don't pick up on that, Obviously, it doesn't make good news, and it doesn't trend, I suppose, does it? But Frank basically said that, and he did say that it's not, when they touched on the approaching players and stuff like that, and some of the protests and that. Frank Lampard did say it's not just Everton in his career. It's happened so many times. He said this isn't unique to Everton. Just doing that sort of thing. It's happened a lot throughout his career, which I thought is another good point, because everybody knows it. Everybody does know that, but they're just really focusing on it right now, being Everton. They did ask him if he'd spoken to Yerry Mina and Anthony Gordon, because they were two of the players that were really in the media about being approached, and he said he had, and it's not affected them. He said as players of a Premier League club, they should, if he thinks it's their job to kind of not expect that, but to, it's their job to expect fans to get passionate about it. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on to. I just wanted to touch on that before, because it's something that's gone on this week and it's quite big. But let's move on to the West Ham game today. West Ham away. It's a tough game. So head to head, we've beaten them this season. Earlier this season, beat them 1-0 at home. Mopé got the goal. Away last season at their place, they beat us 2-1. I think Mason Holgate scored for us, and then they scored quick after that. I think it was Gerard Bowen. So yeah, our last game there, beaten 2-1. Injuries today, they've asked Frank yesterday, and he said no new injury to report, which means we've got Patterson, Townsend, Garner, and Michael Keane. Obviously, the major one there is Patterson. I thought he was starting to look really, really good, and it's a massive blow to have him out. Coleman steps in, but it's just not ideal. Cause like I say, the young lad was doing really well. Thought he was looking really good for us in making us stronger, although we're not doing great. That does leave then a back five of Coleman, Godfrey, Cody, Tarkovsky, and if you watched my video last week, my lad before the game, my lad in the pub did say, if he plays a back five, we get beat. He was right. Unfortunately, he was right. We were obviously all gutted he was right, but he was right. It's going to be a back five today, isn't it? My thoughts on that, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if I agree with my lad. I mean, he was right, obviously, but I'm not sure if you go away from home, and I think you've got to be a bit tighter. But yeah, that leaves anyway Iwobi and Arne, Gay in the middle, Gray and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. I just think it's a tough game. You look at their attack, Antonio, Bowen, Paqueta, and then you've obviously got Declan Rice in the midfield. It's going to be a tough game today, isn't it? But I definitely think we can get something out of the game. I think we need to make sure that they don't get any early goal. We need to cut down on mistakes. Okay, a lot of goals we're conceding are mistakes, individual mistakes and errors, and it needs to stop. They need to stop. I know it's difficult. It's dead easy for me. It's dead easy to say, isn't it? Mistakes need to stop, but they do. It's as simple as that. They have they have to knock it in the head and knuckle down. We have to just you take any sort of win today. You take a scrappy one. You take one where we keep it tight at the back and just get a little break and snatch a goal. You take that. Hopefully it's not that, and it doesn't. It's not as tough for us like that. I think it will be a really tough game, the way the run of form we're on at the moment. West Ham aren't doing that great though. My prediction today, my head, if I was putting a bet on it, was my head doing it, I'd probably go for a draw, 1-1, 2-2. If I go with my heart, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win, Everton. I'm fingers crossed for that. But yeah, guys, good luck to Everton. Come on, you Blues. We need these points. We need points on the board. We need points desperately. So come on, you Blues. I just hope we turn up. So yeah, guys, that was my just little thoughts and preview of the game. As I said, it's something I might start doing. I'll see the reaction. The reaction was good because the last week we sat down and had a little conversation in the pub. Couldn't go to the West Ham game, the West Ham way today. It's tough to get tickets to away games. So yeah, hopefully before every home game I go to, I'm going to look at doing the same thing. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Like, it's something I'm going to like to do, and ideally expand on it. I have got an office that I could set up to do some sort of podcast type talks. Get fans in, get other fans in, opposition fans in, and stuff like that. Something that I think would be good for us all to, like I say, I use this to also open a platform for everybody else to talk as well. So sort of think about doing. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. 12 minutes is more than long enough. Come on, you Blues, today. We'll take a win, any win. We need points on the board. Please like, share, subscribe. If you'd like to buy me a beer, do so here. No pressure whatsoever. Any branded clothing such as this, you can follow that link. Come on, you Blues. 3 points today. Come on.